Previously on the CS build, we're on a mission to transform my heavily used, daily driven Ferrari 360 after 15 years of being used and abused back into a show-stopping beauty. But the question remains, is it possible to thoroughly enjoy a car and then with some elbow grease and a chunk of money, roll back those years of neglect and make the car like new once again? Well, let's find out.
Guys, we are at the place to be, Live 9 Lives Customs down in Southampton, checking out the progress on the Challenge Stradale build. Let's head inside, shall we, and see how Jake's doing.
The body of the Stradale is looking amazing. Bar a flat and polished, it's almost finished, but there's a long way to go and many jobs we need to get done on the rest of the exterior before we're even close to finishing. And not only that, we've got a very tight deadline to meet. So let's get to it.
I think it's about time I head into the booth and see what Jake's been up to.
The remaining body panels all still need to be painted and are in the final prep process, ready to be transformed. Jake then does some final checks to make sure he's fully happy before everything goes into primer. And along with all the body panels, we also need to redo all the carbon fibre fitments unique to the Challenge Stradale. These all have to be carefully sanded back, removing the layers of damaged clear coat. But it's a very tricky and skilled process because if sanded back too far, you then damage the carbon fibre weave.
That's how we want it there.
Yeah, that is perfect, mate. Beautiful.
Next up is the iconic and very expensive carbon mirrors. Now these really do need a lot of rework, and if you look closely, you'll notice that we're using a soft pad on the sander to help get around the mirrors of various contours without causing any damage or flat spots. Back in the spray booth, and you get to see the various stages we go through on the bumpers. Here we're looking a little bit more like a cow, and then finally we are in some black primer. Whilst we wait for the primer to bake off, I'm working on another part of the Stradale. The ultimate goal with this restoration is to make the whole car look great again. Not only the exterior, also the interior, the engine bay, and the entire rest of the car. So right now, I'm making a start on a few of the engine components. Another job we need to tackle on the exterior is the black mesh grills, both in the bumpers and the rear challenge grille. Now these are all finished in a satin black and currently looking very tired and faded. They all need a refresh, and it's the smaller jobs like this that take time, but it's so worthwhile as combined it's the difference between an average job and one that looks absolutely amazing. I'm starting off with a quick wash and scrub, and then I'll make the most of the rare British sunshine and leave them to dry before we move on to the next stage. Once dry, you can see here on the rear grille just how faded that satin black is looking, but that is all about to change. Grills handed back to Jake, he transforms them into something that looks like new once again. And it's perfect timing because all of the bumpers and tailgate are now finished and almost ready to go back on the car. But first I need to fit all those finishing bits back on the bumpers. We've also refinished both rear diffusers. These have come out amazing considering the amount of damage they've taken over the years on British speed bumps.
Jake is busy. We've got the back bumper all together. We have got a mountain of work to do here. We've only got 7 days. Jake, can we make it in 7 days?
Yes, we can.
Petrol Headlism Underground. It'll be this weekend when you see the video, but we've got 7 days at the moment to get the full exterior, interior of my car all finished.
Yep.
Confidence high?
100%.
Excellent, mate. You carry on polishing that. I'll get on with the rest of the car.
Yes, sir.
With grills now fitted to the front bumper, that's also ready to go back on the Stradale.
One by one, I'm gradually transforming all of my ratty Ferraris into pristine examples, and now that the Stradale is looking mighty fine, well, it means I can't park it outside and not care about it anymore. It's going to have to come indoors and have an extra layer of security protection. Now, fortunately, I don't need a full-on security team to protect all my cars because I've got the guys at Reassembly, which are a lot cheaper. With Reassembly, you get that all-in-one security solution. And right now, with their spring sales, well, you can grab yourself some amazing bargains like this Home Hub kit that I've just picked up for the house. It comes with smart battery cameras for both indoor or outdoor monitoring, your Home Hub for your video storage and your camera management. And on the back, we've got 2 storage slots. Now this comes with a 64GB card with the kit, but you can easily upgrade that by adding extra memory to those 2 slots. And I'll also be making use of the lovely spring weather by adding a Reassembly solar panel to each of my cameras, making them completely standalone and powered only by nature. And the great thing with Reassembly is you can tailor everything to your needs. We've added a camera doorbell to my system and it's so simple to set up. And if you head to the Reassembly website, you're actually able to customize your own individual Home Hub bundle with maybe different cameras, add in a doorbell, whatever you need for your personal solutions. It is so simple to install all of their kit. It's really thought out. You don't have to be tech savvy. Just switch it on and it talks you through it.
Welcome to Reassembly. Please install Reassembly app and scan the QR code on the camera.
And installation is just as easy with all the hardware you need right there in the box, just 2 screws and this camera is ready to mount.
The great thing I love about Reassembly products is there's no monthly subscription fee, which means you can save a load of money and buy Ferrari parts instead. So make sure you check out Reassembly today by clicking on my link in the description below the video and grab yourself a spring bargain on the best security solutions available.
Now, if you remember in the last video, I had the dilemma with what to do about these very damaged Stradale side skirts. They're a little bit too far gone to repair for my liking. Well, the good news is I've managed to pick up a brand new set and they've already been sprayed, ready to go on the car. But first I want to remove these old badges, refit some sticky back foam tape, and these are good enough to be reused on the new sills, saving me well over £100 on 2 badges. And while I do that, in the background you can see Sean here working on those carbon fibre rear grills, just hand sanding any little imperfections out and making them spotless.
It's a competition, yeah? See whose side comes out nicer. Oh, that's what
Next up, I would need to fit all the refinished trim pieces that we have removed from the car to get the perfect paint job on the exterior. All of these have been redone in satin black, and before we can put any windows in, these have to go on first. While I screw the trim together, I want you to pay close attention to that roof and the interior of the Stradale, which is all going to be amazingly transformed in the next video. And finally, one of the last jobs before we install those rear quarter windows, Jake is redoing all of the black surround to make it look perfect. And now it's time to install the rear engine lid and start rebuilding the rear of the Ferrari. Now you'll also note that we've got the rear mesh grille in place. That's there to make sure that all our gaps and alignment are correct before tightening up any bolts. And once it's all good and straight, it's just a case of standing back, smiling and taking in that view for a few happy moments.
So right now Jake is, as the perfectionist he always is, just seeing a couple of little imperfections in the stripe there that he's not happy with, but mainly we are trying to get that edge of the stripe super smooth. Now there's, how many layers of clear coat did you put on here?
There's about 7 or 8 in total.
7 or 8?
Yeah.
And this vinyl stripe was actually really quite a thick stripe.
Yeah,
and to bury it so it looks like it was painted on, same way as Ferrari have done, it's quite a process. Now Jake, you're going through how many different things here? 6?
There's 6 stages in total, yeah. So we'll hit it first with a 1500, and then we'll go to a 2000. Obviously in between each stage we'll wipe it dry and keep it wet. And then it's onto a 4,000. And then it's 6,000 Trizac, and then it's cut back and polish.
Wow. And then that's the mirror finish.
And then, yeah, we should get a nice mirror finish on the...
Mirror finish, and that will feel like it was painted on.
Yeah, that's the idea.
It's hard work, and there's a lot of hours that go into it.
A lot of hours.
And until you do something like this, you don't realise how much goes on.
Especially on a black car, because it's like a mirror and you see everything.
Yeah.
You see absolutely everything. So we've got
And
to make sure it's
someone
right.
like me who's really picky, who keeps saying, Jake, can you sort that out? Sort that out, yeah? You love me, don't you?
Love it.
Get on with it. Hurry up.
Sorry.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, we are redoing the complete car, which includes the interior, and that's all coming in the next video, which is going to blow you away. I've seen it and it looks absolutely incredible. But while we've got the exterior of the car all apart, it makes sense to have a go at the interior floors, which, well, as you can see, are looking pretty terrible. Remember, on the Challenge Stradale, it was all about weight saving, so there's no carpets, sound deadening, or any niceties. It's all very raw and minimal, maintaining as much weight saving as possible. And that means the floors are simply finished in satin black, and that's it, meaning you hear all the road noise, any loose chips flicking up on the bottom of the car, and actually that's something I love about the Stradale. It's a real seat of your pants driving experience that immerses you in the moment. And while Jake works on the interior, I've got a job that's equally important that we need to do before we can rebuild the front end of the Stradale. I need to refit the headlights before I can install any of the front bumper, but I'm taking the opportunity to give all of the area a quick clean up. It's then off over to the sink with some washing liquid to give the rubber trims around those headlights a quick scrub before installation. Unfortunately, the headlights on my 360 are going to let down the exterior. We have sanded them back and attempted to make them as good as possible, and right now they are looking 100 times better than they were when they came off the car. But without taking them apart, I don't think we're going to get them any better, and even when we do take them apart, well, unfortunately we've got some spider web kind of cracks in there that we are not going to rectify. So I'm looking for another solution, which hopefully I'll bring you in a future video.
Now we're going to have to put it together because it's got to go to the show like this, but I'm not happy. We're going to have to figure out, either open it up, try to clean the inside, see if it improves it, or figure out whether we're going to have to replace the lenses or the whole light units, which is very expensive.
But with both those headlights now in, it does mean we can install the bumper and start to transform the front end of this Stradale.
So, and is the side bit all right, Jake? It's not hitting the side, is it? I think so. Well, it needs to line up with the arch, you know?
Carbon bits were next in the booth, ready for numerous layers of clear coat before being polished and then put back on the car. Front bumper finished, it was now time to start reinstalling some glass on the car. And with the quarter windows taped in place to dry, I figured it was a great time to finish off the look on the side of the car and install those newly purchased skirts.
Now, in the last video, I mentioned the rear screen dilemma that I had on the Challenge Stradale. From a certain angle, it looked perfect, but when you looked at it close, at a different angle, you had a load of crazing in it, and the screen on these things is about £5,000. If you want an original, well, that's very pricey. Now, I had an amazing stroke of luck. A good friend of mine called Paul, as it happens, had a spare one in his garage. Let me explain. So this is his original screen that was replaced with a brand new one for a very bizarre reason. Unfortunately, one day when Paul was parking his car, his garage door, or the electric door on it, had a mind of its own and decided to come down and then hit the back of his car, hit the screen and damaged a bit of bodywork, which was all fixed. But this screen was also replaced on the insurance for that little mark there. So where the door came down and hit the little button here caused a bit of an imprint in the Lexan screen. And so it was all replaced to make it perfect under the insurance. And so this one was surplus and Paul has kindly given it to me. We've got that little mark there and we've got just a little mark over here where the carbon bar sits underneath the screen. We're going to try and polish that one out, but this is a million times better than the one that was on my car. So thank you very much, Paul, for this one. It really is going to get put to some amazing use.
Next up, let's get the rear bumper on the car. But first, I have some rubber protection pieces to install on those corners that I've had sitting in a box for the past 15 years, ready to put on a pristine bumper at some point. And that point is now.
Alrighty. Now, I really just got myself in the wrong position on the camera here, didn't I? So, we can slide it on. We've just got to make sure that that under tray, does it go underneath?
Yeah, it goes underneath.
It does go underneath.
Like that.
We've got to go over the exhausts. I'm good, man. I'm kind of lining up. Yeah? Can we see the reveal? Guys, look at that. This is where all the hard work that he's done has been really worth it for me.
I'm happy for you, Scott.
Final step was to get that very expensive rear screen kindly donated back on the car, and that meant we had to install some special protective foam. Now, we played around with various thicknesses of this. I had some original bits from Ferrari, but I only had one side, so it meant we had to get some different stuff because Ferrari no longer supply this. Anyway, we managed to match it up correctly, and it was time to then install it on the Ferrari. Along with the foam sponge tape, the correct procedure according to the Ferrari workshop manual was to also use some sealant mastic, and then finally those 4 button head bolts would secure it all in place.
Lined up. Roughly about there. Roughly about there. Yeah? And then what about the bottom bit? There? What about my side? What, there? Yeah? It's Sunday night. We're trying to do the last few jobs on the exterior of the CS. We're onto the rear screen right now and trying to fit it, make sure it's in exactly the correct place. If it's too close to the roof, then when you open the engine lid, well, it scrapes. So we are talking a millimetre difference between getting the gap right down here and it hitting the roof. When I said it was really close, watch this. Jake, lift it up. It's like, oh, the screen's gone blurred. But trust me, what did you say it was? A gnat's little winky. That's basically what you could get in that gap. Anyway, top job. It's done.
I think that's done for today, right?
Almost. Okay. This is it. This is going to be beauty. All right. Watch your head, yeah? That's okay? It's not going to hit, is it?
No.
There she is, mate. There she is.
Good.
That is where it's all been worth it. What a transformation. You happy with your work? Well, guys, that is it for today's video. The exterior on the car is pretty much done. Happy days, mate. Well done. I know we have put the hours in not just this week, well, the whole of this build really, it has been
Months.
It's been months and it's been solid hard graft. But look at that, dude.
It does look very nice.
It looks amazing, mate.
Not me just being biased.
You've done a fantastic job. We have a few, it's not done yet. We've got a few more jobs to do. Final polish. We've got the grills to go on the back. We're just waiting for that rear screen to bond in. All of this, we've got to just double check. We have got, we've got the nice bits. We've got these to go on here. Can't put those on until we've had a polish on the car. Front badges, a few little bits, but it's looking good.
Get in there.
Look at that. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Don't forget you can check out what I get up to on a daily basis over on my socials. Check out what Jake gets up to around this place on a daily basis on his socials, which are down there, Live9Lives Customs on Instagram. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Stay safe and ciao for now.